Hello everyone, I just wanted to take one quick minute here to go over the request off process and a few minor changes. I want to ensure that we are all on the same page. We have the request off slip here, which is pretty much the same. There's just one minor change. As we go through the request off process, please make sure everything in the form is filled out. Um, you know, we also want to make sure that we are now giving a 4-week notice is required to request off. Um, what we're doing, especially with the HVAC technicians and Bob's outbound calling, we're booking out so far in advance now that we really need 4 weeks, or else we're just scheduling appointments just to move them, and it's just going to make planning so much easier. So please honor the 4-week request off period. I also want to go through, if you follow all the steps on the program, you're pretty much guaranteed practically to have your request off honored. So just make sure, no more than 2 plumbers are off at a time, no more than 1 HVAC tech, and 1 office staff is off at a time. And of course, your on-call is covered. If there's anything that needs addressed with the truck, I know we're given 4-week notice now, but just throw that in there just so we can be as efficient as possible while the truck is idle. So just some points. This is how the request off process works. You fill out the request off form and it is submitted to Kenny. No one other than Kenny, including dispatch, can approve a request off. You should have no issues getting off if you follow the standard criteria that is on the form, making sure that everything's covered. Please be aware that you can request off up to 1 calendar year in advance, so the sooner you put your request off in, the sooner you are guaranteed to get that desired time off. If you do happen to look at the schedule and notice that another person within your department has requested off and we are over the max range, please feel free to approach that person individually and ask them to switch times. Please don't put the office in a place where we have to say no to your request. You guys know what's required, so please make sure that you just honor that. Once all the criteria are met, Kenny confirms it. Kenny then has dispatch block out the service Titan schedule, so we won't book your schedule up. And then Kenny will write your name on the request off calendar, which is replaced above the return shelf. Some notes I do want to go over. This is something I really want to drive home. No request off is approved until it is on the calendar. So once it is on the calendar, that is your written verification receipt that your request off is approved and officially accepted, which means it has gone through the entire process. Verbal approval from anyone, even Kenny himself, is not an official approval for the request off until you see that name on the calendar. An approval will be added to the calendar within 48 hours of your request. However, if 72 hours have gone by since you submitted your approval or your request off and is not on the calendar, you have to go to Kenny directly to see why it was not approved or, what happened with that request off. This is a picture of what the calendar looks like. You should all be familiar with it. I'm going to pick out of this calendar as an example Norm. Norm requested off for the week of the 7th. So you'll see Norm's name with a line covering all the weeks that he is off up through the 11th. If you do request off multiple days, just please make sure it's indicated accordingly on the calendar. If you have any questions about this process, please see your dispatchers, and thank you for taking the time to watch this video.